Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Jimmy, and today I'm going to show you 5 features that either you forget you can do or flat out never even knew existed on your Samsung Galaxy device. Now, I am showing you this with the Samsung One UI 6.0, so if there is a feature I'm showing off that maybe you can't do or my settings look slightly different, that is why, but the majority of these you can do on pretty much any other Samsung Galaxy device, but some of them are new with One UI 6. Now, the first one I want to show off is one that is new, and it's built inside of the clock. Now, the thing that's nice about the clock here is that you can basically set up your alarms, the world clock, stopwatch, timer, but inside of alarm, I might have something here that you've probably never seen before, or at least mine looks a little bit different to you. Usually all of your alarms should look like this, but up here I basically have my sleep settings, I have sleep details. This is pretty much set up with Samsung Health. It's also set up with modes and routines. So it's pretty nice. Basically every single day at 11:50 p.m. until 6:55 a.m. I have my alarm that goes off. I also have Do Not Disturb turned on. I have dark mode, a whole bunch of really nice things. And I can also take a look at all of my sleep details as well. So how you're able to get this one done right here is basically I have to go inside of here. I need to delete this. So I'm going to go inside of sleep settings. On the very top, I'm going to delete. So this way I can create a brand new one for you. And this is what more than likely your alarm page looks like. So through here on the top right hand side, if you go, you can see this option here. It's called the set sleep mode schedule. So again, like I said before, this is basically working with your alarm, Samsung Health, and modes and routines. It does several things with basically one setup. So through here, I'm going to hit on start. Now on this page, this is where you can go through and you can set your bedtime where all this stuff is going to basically happen. Now you can go through and you can move these around, but they move by 5 or 10-minute increments. So maybe you need to go in between this number right here. You can just tap and you're able to switch it at whatever time you want to. So usually my alarm is 6:55 a.m. And then you can choose the days you want this to happen. You go through all of your alarm setup as normal. So usually I go to my alarm sound. I bring it down because I don't need it that loud. But I do want to make sure that it gradually increases to the main volume. So once I've done that, I've pretty much set my alarm. Everything is looking good. You hit on next. And then this is where you can add in Do Not Disturb. So through Do Not Disturb, I normally had the settings turned on through the normal settings on the top, but now I don't have to do that anymore. I can actually get it all done through my alarm. Now this is where you can allow calls and text messages or even app notifications. So if there's specific applications that you still want to have notifications come through or calls or text, you can do that. So inside of calls and text, I'm going to select this one. And with this one, you have these settings on the bottom. So maybe you have a repeat caller, maybe it's important. Then you can turn this one on if there's any specific messages or calls. But all I'm going to do on the top, just to make it very simple, is I'm going to choose the people that I will allow to get a hold of me during my Do Not Disturb time period. So I'm going to click on Add Contacts and I'm going to add in my 2 people. Now, even though I only added in 2 people, you can go all the way up to 50 different contacts. I don't think you'd want 50 different people to get a hold of you during the Do Not Disturb, but especially the most important ones. Then you just hit on Done. If you need to make any changes, you hit on this little settings, but that's the stuff that we literally just did with the Do Not Disturb. So you just go again to Next. And then this is where you can choose what you want to happen during that sleep mode or your alarm period time. So I'm going to make sure that my dark mode turns on. Eye Comfort Shield, I want that to be adaptive. You can even customize it if you would like. If you have Eye Comfort Shield turned on throughout the whole entire day, you can even have the setting of turning it off if you want to. But you're trying to go to bed, so you might want to take away some of those blues. Then you can also do power saving mode. I'm going to have that one turned on. If you use always on display through the day, because sometimes you just want to glance at your phone to see what time it is, with this one you can have it turned off during this time frame because you're going to bed. You don't really need to have another screen turned on, taking battery life. So everything looks good to me. I'm going to hit on Done. And this is everything that we set up. You basically have other actions. You have the Do Not Disturb turned on. This is when it's going to happen. And that's pretty much it. And then you can just basically hit on Turn On. So that is where this right here comes into play. If you hit the turn on that last page, it's actually going to turn everything on, even the Do Not Disturb. So this is already set for every single day. 11:50 p.m., all those things that I selected is going to happen. Everything will stop at 6:55 and also be my alarm. Now, one of the things you can do with this alarm, and as well as the regular ones on the bottom, is right now as the recording, it's Thursday. And I have this set up to go off tomorrow on a Friday. If I don't want it to go off on Friday, you can actually turn it off. And then you have this option here, turn back on for the next day it's supposed to be on. So I don't want it to go off on Friday, and I don't have anything set up for Saturday or Sunday. So that means December 18th, that Monday, this thing is going to turn right back on for me. So I don't have to remember or try to remember on a Saturday or Sunday or Monday to turn this alarm back on for Monday. Once you turn it off, you can have it come back the very next day, which is super nice. Feature number 2 that maybe you forgot about. Now you can definitely do this on other Samsung Galaxy devices, all the other Samsung One UI options or versions. But again, some people forget you can do this. When you take a look at your recent applications, so basically when you either hit your recent apps button or you swipe up and hold, this is where you have options up here where you tap the icon. And if they can go in the split screen view or pop-up view, you'll have those options. But the two I want to show off is the keep open and pin this app. So let's say that you go over here, and this is actually one YouTube Studio that you can't do that whole, multi-window split screen view. So it's only going to show you those 3 options. But let's say that you're watching YouTube and you don't want to get away from the video that you're doing. You can actually just do keep open, and it's basically going to lock the application. So with this one, you can see that I have a bunch of different applications. Only one of them is locked. When I go to close all, every single one is closed out other than this one. So it's basically going to keep it open for you in the background so you can always easily re-access it. So then this way you don't lose everything that you were just looking at. So if you're on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook and you're scrolling through some feeds, if you completely close out of it, you're going to start at the very top again. Now to get rid of it, you just tap on that little lock button, and then when you close it, everything is now closed. Now the other thing that's kind of opposite of that is going to be pinning it. So the other way was where you can close out of it, it's still in the background, but if you need to pin something, maybe it's YouTube Kids or an application set up for a kid, you can pin it. So what's going to happen now is that they cannot get out of this phone or this little application here. Even if you try to swipe up, you can't get out. If you try to swipe back, you can't go back. It just goes to the very top. There's no way that you can get out of this thing. Even if you power it off and then you turn it right back on, you're still stuck in this application. You can't get out of it. And then if they do figure out that you can unpin it by swiping up and holding, then it goes to your lock screen. So it's a way that you can lock somebody in an application, and if they figure out how to get out, which is only by swiping up and holding, they can't go through the rest of your phone. So if somebody just wants to use your calculator or your phone or something, and you don't want them to go through the rest of the phone, you can actually just pin the application, and that's the only thing they can use. If they get out of it, again, goes back to the lock screen. Feature number 3 is one that's actually more of a personal hack. It's something that I love to do, especially if you want to have multiple accounts of either the same application or especially the same game. Sometimes you can only go into one game, but you'd have to log out, go back into the other one to do something. One of the good examples is going to be Pokemon Go. So there's 2 ways you can do this. The first way is on your regular phone right here. You can just have your Pokemon Go sitting right there. And then the other thing you can do is when you open up your secure folder, on secure folder of your phone, you can actually log in with the other account. So you can see here, this one says Jimmy is promo, level 42. Went ahead inside of my secure folder, I put in my code. Now inside of here, I have Pokemon Go sitting right there. If I open this one up, it'll be a different account. But here's the thing, maybe you want to have both of them going at the exact same time. You don't want to keep going back and forth between secure folder and your regular phone. Again, here's Brock Jimmy, level 31. So you can see that there is, a complete difference. So now if you want to have 2 of them going at the exact same time, you just go right inside of your little split screen view here, and you tap on that little icon from what I showed from before. You open in split screen. And then what you're able to do is you can go into the other Pokemon Go, and now you have both of them running at the exact same time. And if I was fighting, a Pokemon or whatever, if I was in a gym, I can actually tap back and forth, tap back, back and forth. And you can see that little green dot is switching between the 2 different screens. And so this is where I'm still interacting with everything. And it's pretty fun. So basically I can just tap here, I can go through, and then basically able to, go through, catch them. And that is how you're able to run 2 applications at the exact same time, or have 2 applications just on the phone itself. You can get it from the Samsung store, you can get it from the Google Play Store, or if you need to run it where it's going to be your personal side and then your secure folder side. But that is how you're able to have, again, 2 accounts of a game on the exact same phone. Feature number 4 is one that is on the home screen. Now this one I forget all the time, even personally. And when you take a look at your home screen, all you have to do is that there are widgets here that you can interact with your phone without even unlocking it. So if you're playing music, you can actually change the song or whatever you would like to. There's your clock on the very top. Here's your alarm. So if there's an alarm for the next day, you can dismiss it from here. You can take a look at the weather. If you tap on any of these widgets and then you unlock your phone, now you're directly into that application. This is where I can make changes. If I was connected to my Galaxy Buds 2 Pros, again, when you're looking at that lock screen, you just tap on the time, and this is where you have everything sitting there. If you want to make any changes to it, you just hit on settings, you unlock your device, and then you choose what you want it to show and also the order by hitting reorder and then switching up wherever they are sitting. So a lot of times, myself included, a lot of people forget that you can do something just from right here inside of your home screen, basically the lock screen home widgets. And now this last one, it's the 5th feature. This is one, again, that most people either haven't seen, maybe they disable it or try to delete it, or they just don't see it, but you have the tips application sitting right there. This is where you can learn everything about your phone. Doesn't matter which phone you have, doesn't matter if you have One UI 6 or not. You can go through the basic features, the settings and personalizations. There are so many things that you can do. Anytime that you see something, you tap it, it's gonna teach you how to do it. Sometimes when it is something dealing with a setting, when you tap on it, a lot of times it'll say like try it or go to setting. So you can actually go and find the setting right from there rather than going through the settings of the phone to try to figure out what it was called. And the other place that you can also see this is, again, inside of the settings. You scroll all the way down. This is where you have tips and user manual. A lot of people just don't go into this, or they don't think they want to go into this. Or maybe you have gone into it your very first day, but then you forget that your phone goes through several different updates. You don't go back because they will always keep updating this application to show you what is new with your latest updates. So I'd have to throw this one in there because a lot of times people don't go inside of this one. But yeah, you can read up a bunch of tips and information on the Galaxy Watch, the Galaxy Buds. Here's your user guide. Some people would like to have user guides. You can just go right inside of here, remote management, if you need help with somebody to remotely get into your device. But here's all the different categories that you can go through, and you can take a look at everything that it wants to teach you. Again, if you are trying to learn how to use your phone, this might be a really good place to go to take a look at every single thing. So that was 5 features that either you forgot you were able to do, or maybe you never even knew existed. Maybe you're new to Samsung One UI 6 and you're looking for something fresh and new. Hopefully this video has helped you out. I've already done a bunch of tips and tricks and everything of Samsung One UI 6. I wanted to try and encompass something that either you forgot about or you never even knew existed because it is brand new. So hopefully you guys appreciated this video. If you did, give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe on the very bottom left-hand side. And if you like this video, then more than likely you'll also like this video. And I'll see you guys later.